Taking a look here at Cosmos or Atom, you can see that there's some hidden bearish divergence that was present from the peaks of the 3 week candle in May, the May 10th, 2021, to the peak that was found in September 13th, 2021. Did that result in a sell off? It resulted in a drop, but it didn't really result in a sell off. There's a pretty clear looking channel that it's respecting. If I can get there it is. And so far, it's really done a pretty good job of staying within it and respecting that zone. Nothing here is screaming major sell-off yet, with the exception of this kind of thing right here. The volume is dropping. If we see volume pick up here, that's going to be different, but volume is rising. Volume is dropping while prices are rising. Volume precedes price. If that's true, then we could see a pretty big dive south here. So be on the lookout for that. Zipping on over to the weekly chart, Atom has had a pretty good bounce last week, rallying from the open at 27.22 to a close at 25.50. It's in between the weekly Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen, and that's really where it's been ping-ponging for the week. And if you want to be bullish here, we need to see a close above that Tenkan-sen. But more than anything, if you want to see some clear moves that would return Cosmos to, testing all-time highs, the lagging span or the Chiku span needs to have a weekly close where it's not going to intercept the candlesticks horizontally over the next 5 to 10 periods, and that would only occur at $45. So that's essentially a 50% rise from where we're currently sitting. But one of the nice things is if it continues to trade sideways here for the rest of the week, we do have a Kumo twist coming up next week. That could be a catalyst necessary to see it have a nice drive up. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, the oscillator values, the RSI on the weekly chart remains in bull market territory. Composite index is fairly flat, neutral. So is the percent B. Not a ton of warning signs here on the downside, with the exception of the volume. And the volume is probably more indicative of the kind of pattern that it's sitting in, which is a triangle. It's a pennant pattern, and it's an ascending triangle. And one of the behaviors that's common with any type of triangle pattern is that preceding the breakout, or at least in the final third of that triangle, we typically do see volume drop off, and then it rallies on the breakout. You typically see a ton of volume pouring before the breakout. So with an ascending triangle, this is an inherently bullish setup. So ideally, we would see prices move higher here and then break out. But failed ascending triangles end up being very profitable bearish signals too. So just on the weekly chart, we just want to be cautious of where it's at, but definitely leaning on the bullish side because of where it's at above the cloud and above the Kijun-sen. Still leaning heavily on the bull side. The daily chart, it shows a little bit more weakness here. There was an ideal bearish Ichimoku breakout to the south on the daily that occurred back on the 30th of January, but there was not any follow-through selling pressure. Instead, we've seen it rally up and move above the Tenkan-sen, and it's been holding that level as a support for a pretty good amount of time. But it's been facing a lot of rejection up against the 32 level. That's where the bottom of the cloud is at, that Senko span B. Getting above $32 is critical to any further expansion here. This is going to be a tough zone for Atom to break above. So once it does, that's going to be a pretty big event. But right now, we could really just kind of see it ping pong between $32 and the Tenkan-sen at $29.50, really kind of reflecting the tight range that we saw on the weekly chart. And then possibly next week, because of the Kumo twist, we'll see it spike higher. Anyways, that's what I see for Cosmos or Atom. I'll update it as needed. From all the Chat Exchange Rates UK TV, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.